Hey YouTube, Kaja here. I've just put up a deck tech for the new uh, True Selesnya build 3. I'm pretty happy with the deck as it stands right now. I'm going to run through some replays with some new changes that I've made. Specifically, you know, I've cut Angel of Serenity and some other cards that I don't really feel like the deck needed. Uh, I really just kind of want to stick to the tokens slash Craterhoof build. And I've got some new innovations that you probably already heard about from the deck tech. So let's go on to some replays. I think there's a few rounds here. So here we are for round 1. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we are for round 1. Little technical difficulty there. Alright, so let's take a look at what our opponent's opening hand is. And, oops. Hold on. Stop. Alright, so this is a blue-black white control build using the Lingering Souls and Sphinx's Revelation to kind of hide behind. My opening hand is kind of slow. I've just got Increasing, Restoration Angel, and a Craterhoof. I'm pretty familiar with this build. It only takes me a few minutes to figure out what they're playing. Let's fast forward here for a little bit. Alright, so he gets his spirit out. I get to Ranger's Path in response, which kind of gets me up to my heavy mana. He taps out a second time to kind of play another Lingering and kind of go aggro on me. And, you know, I've got up to 6 mana now from the Ranger's Path. I'm going to tap out for Increasing and Intangible. Put 10 power on the table. He top decks a Detention Sphere, which is kind of unfortunate. Knocks out all my human tokens. I double cast Lingering, so I can kind of put a defense up here. He gets to 6 mana, he terminuses me. And I play a Garruk, and he terminuses me a second time and plays a Tameo. Tries to tap down my lands. I've already got a Garruk in play, and I think this is what won me the game. He's trying to kind of like counter aggro me with some cards here. I draw another Garruk, so that's 2 I've drawn so far. I've got all the mana for Craterhoof already, and I had to think about this turn for quite a while. Eventually I just decide on the Craterhoof to take out Tameo and to draw 8. He's going to untap, play a Sphinx's. Or no, he's going to Detention Sphere and play a Sphinx's this turn, I think. Takes a bunch of damage. This was a really good round. It was kind of long. Again, he's trying to ulti Tameo. I took out his first one. He's searching for more endgame with his revelations. My hand is... Okay, I've got a lot of lands. I'm just kind of picking my path to victory here. And he's just running through his removal cards here. And I've just got, you know, a lot more gas. And he keeps tapping out to deal off my threat, so I know he has no counter spells. Land another Garruk. And just keep going with double Gavany on the table. And as I already talked about in the replay, this is kind of, the Gavanys are really important. I think they're more important than Caverns. It's easier to play through counter spells than trying, like, you know, I have to have creatures, and those creatures are counterable, but then I don't have any, like, multiple effects. And that was the game. He did not play a second and third game. So we'll go to the next round. There's only a few. I think there might be just 2 rounds. With the new build, I might run a third recording with maybe some live games, and I'll do some commentary on them. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at these opening hands here. Okay, this is going to be another control deck, but this one is splashing red. I don't know if he, all the cards, I know he has Lighthouse and Pillar, and I think that's all I saw. As far as red goes, I know he has Terminus and Entreat as well in his deck. My opening hand's pretty solid. A rally effect, 2 token builders, so okay, run through the first few turns, get an intangible on the table, play a repository after playing Lingering. He doesn't have any counter spells. You can't entreat here. So I just could kind of start knocking him down with this repository. Once that thing goes off, it's just so much mana. That was 2 mana. I'm going to untap, play a Garruk, flashback my Lingering, make a beast. He's going to kill my Garruk. I am going to attack for a lot. I'm going to play another Garruk, make a token, get 3 more mana. He terminuses me. I use the mana I have left, play an Angel, get another mana, make a bunch of humans, untap, and victory. And we'll go to G2. Alright. Alright, opening hands. That's a bad opener. I don't know if he mulligans or not. My opener's fine. I have 2 Farseeks, a Ranger, a Rancor. Not the best hand, no gas, but lots of ways to get there, so we're gonna keep this. You know, like with the Titan rotation, you had cards. Okay, so whenever you got a Titan on the table, no matter when, you always got your utility lands. Okay, and you had other things too, like the you had Solemn Simulacrum to you know, fix your mana and draw a card, and you also had the Green Sun Zenith. That's what it's called. So you had 4 Green Sun Zeniths to just kind of like rip through your library, get the answers you needed for most matchups. And you also had things like Fringe Play with Autumn's Veil, and some other cards that, you know, made control not that bad. And like other things you didn't have before is you didn't have all the late game that control has now. It wasn't like you couldn't play Delver with like 25 lands. Whereas now you see like Blue-Red Tempo, they have the Sphinx's Revelation, so they can run more lands. They've also got Azorius Charm. So it's a lot less about comboing and setting your mana than it is to just control the game, control the board, remove their threats, you know. So it's a different metagame right now in that sense. So this deck, how does that deck? Well, I do have Garruk to dig for answers, and I've got some other things too, like not just Farseeks, but I don't know. I do have Supreme Verdict, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's as good. I also have Ranger's Path, so I can get 2 lands instead of 1. I don't know. I'd say it's pretty close to the Titan Brew, but not quite. Again, you can't like auto fetch utility lands, which is a big deal. So you don't have like that inevitable victory. But I don't know. I think it's well-rounded enough and strong enough to be competitive. So let's focus back on this game. It's been pretty slow. He's just countering everything I played basically, and that's fine. I don't really mind that he does that. I have a lot of land, have a lot of options. I'm just going to keep playing into his spells. Eventually, he's not going to be able to counter them, and there's the Lingering Souls. Okay, So he gets his Geist down. I put a Rancor on a Spirit. He untaps. He plays an Entreat hard cast to get 2 flyers. To play around any type of removal. I actually did not think he had a Supreme Verdict in his deck, or in his hand. I thought he sided them out for Geist. I don't know what he sided out for Geist, but I definitely, for game 3, I run all four of the verdicts. So he gets to Entreat for 1 million here, and that's basically what won him the game. And yeah, so that was that. He won the game off of Entreat. So I'll go to the 3rd round. Now I've seen more of his deck. I'm a little bit more afraid of like if he only had Entreat, then I probably wouldn't have brought in all the verdicts. But because he had both Geist and Entreat, I was a little bit more cautious and brought in all 4 of them. This opener's a little sketchy for me. His opener's a little sketchy too. He's got no he just has a sweeper, 2 sweepers in mana. And I think I have a pretty slow start. I'm trying to play around counter spells. He doesn't have any. We'll find out in a minute that I do. That does kind of get to him after I get up some mana. Let's fast forward. So he finds a Jace. He can't Entreat just yet. I get my Virtue on. He plays a Jace. That's fine. I can't do anything about it yet. He actually minuses his own Jace here, which I don't really agree with that. Like, maybe it was his only play or something. But I mean, he could have plussed it and then bounced my token for a turn. He just had options. I don't know why he went this exact route. Slow this down a little bit. Let's. So I've got a Gavany on the table. I know he's got negate because he showed it to me. So I play this Thragtusk. He can't counter it. Gave my 5 life. And I'm basically going to go infinite this game with tokens off of Garruk. I hold this other Virtue in my hand the entire game because I know he has the Detention Spheres. And having 2 of these DT'd is pretty bad. And I draw 1 million cards. He can't do anything about it. Like the other day I was playing against a really good player. I might bring up that match after this recording. But he totally gets me with Alchemist Retreat. So I go to -3 my Garruk, and then he sweeps my board. He pays 7 mana to play Supreme. And so that way I can only draw like a few cards instead of, 8. So my hand's really good. I've drawn a bunch of cards already. Really competitive. He's going to have a real hard time beating me. I've already got a sweeper and the mana for it. So I'm pretty locked up. He's going to have a lot of counters. And obviously he doesn't. So he's just going to keep trying to dig for answers. But it's not going to be enough. Fast forward some. Play some lands. Switch my board for 1 creature. I untap. I think I just, yeah. He negates our Ranger's Path. That's fine. I play a Borderland Ranger. Don't really care about that. He entreats for 2. It's not going to be enough with Gavany online. So I just force the chumps here. Protecting my Garruk. And I believe this is the end of the match. He just has no answers. He plays a Jace, he minuses it, and he draws 3 lands. And that's it. Alright, so that's, kind of an example of what the deck is doing now. Even though it doesn't have the caverns, I don't think it really needs them. And that's why. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.